Sketty is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Simon of the Desert is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Narwhal is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Simon of the Desert is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Simon of the Desert is on his practice out lap. There are just over 120 minutes left in this practice session. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Ryan Wilson is on his practice out lap. Adam posted 2:02.370 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
With just 119 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
Adam is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Adam just posted a 2:02.370 crossing start finish.
There is always more time to be found, but Adam is not guaranteed to find it.
It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Stefano Amadei is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Narwhal is on his first practice flying lap. Narwhal is in Subida dos boxes. Narwhal has a best lap time of 2:06.386.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Adam has a best lap time of 2:02.370. Adam posted 2:08.578 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Adam just posted a 2:08.578 crossing start finish.
Adam is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Ryan Wilson is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Ryan Wilson is on his practice out lap. Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:12.499. With just 116 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Simon of the Desert posted 2:25.950 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. There are just over 115 minutes left in this practice session. Narwhal has a best lap time of 2:06.386.
There is always more time to be found, but Narwhal is not guaranteed to find it.
Narwhal just posted a 2:06.386 crossing start finish. Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:12.499.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
With just 114 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:12.499.
Simon is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Sketty posted 5:57.180 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
There is always more time to be found, but Sketty is not guaranteed to find it.
Sketty has a best lap time of 2:08.959. Narwhal just posted a 3:34.085 crossing start finish. With just 112 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Narwhal posted 2:06.655 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
Narwhal is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Sketty has a best lap time of 2:08.959.
There is always more time to be found, but Sketty is not guaranteed to find it.
Sketty has a best lap time of 2:08.959. With just 111 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
David Zahn posted 2:05.270 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Simon just posted a 2:12.146 crossing start finish. Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:10.467.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
There are just over 110 minutes left in this practice session. Ryan Wilson has a best lap time of 2:09.097. With just 109 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
Wilson is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Narwhal just posted a 2:19.681 crossing start finish. Narwhal posted 2:19.681 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Narwhal has a best lap time of 2:06.386. Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:10.467. With just 108 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Narwhal posted 2:19.681 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Narwhal has a best lap time of 2:06.386. Narwhal just posted a 2:19.681 crossing start finish.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
With just 107 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
There is always more time to be found, but Wilson is not guaranteed to find it.
Ryan Wilson posted 2:06.149 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
Wilson is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Kevin Lekmansky is on his practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:14.368. Stefano just posted a 2:14.368 crossing start finish. There are just over 105 minutes left in this practice session. With just 105 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Adam posted 4:03.862 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Adam has a best lap time of 2:01.97. Nils Shepard is on his practice out lap. Adam has a best lap time of 2:01.97. Adam just posted a 2:02.752 crossing start finish.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Adam posted 2:02.752 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
There is always more time to be found, but Adam is not guaranteed to find it.
Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:14.368.
Stefano is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
With just 103 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Stefano just posted a 2:14.368 crossing start finish.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Sketty has a best lap time of 2:06.628. Sketty posted 2:06.628 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Sketty has a best lap time of 2:06.628. It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Kevin Lekmansky is on his practice out lap. Lekmansky is getting to grips with the ASRL 99 kart road in this practice session. Narwhal just posted a 2:10.605 crossing start finish. Narwhal has a best lap time of 2:06.386.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
There are just over 100 minutes left in this practice session. With just 100 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
Stefano is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Stefano Amadei posted 2:12.072 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:12.072.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Nils Shepard is on his practice out lap. Ryan Wilson has a best lap time of 2:06.149. Ryan just posted a 7:53.686 crossing start finish.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Ryan Wilson posted 2:05.839 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
Ryan is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
With just 98 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:09.519. Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:09.519. David just posted a 2:04.990 crossing start finish.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
With just 97 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. David Zahn has a best lap time of 2:04.990. Sketty posted 2:06.615 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Sketty has a best lap time of 2:06.563.
Sketty is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
With just 96 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
There is always more time to be found, but Sketty is not guaranteed to find it.
Ryan just posted a 2:04.800 crossing start finish. Ryan Wilson posted 2:04.800 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. There are just over 95 minutes left in this practice session. Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:08.074.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
With just 94 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
Simon is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Simon of the Desert has a best lap time of 2:08.074.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Adam posted 2:04.152 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Adam just posted a 2:04.152 crossing start finish.
There is always more time to be found, but Adam is not guaranteed to find it.
With just 93 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Kevin Lekmansky has a best lap time of 2:09.679.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Kevin Lekmansky has a best lap time of 2:09.679. Kevin just posted a 3:02.607 crossing start finish.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
With just 92 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Stefano Amadei has a best lap time of 2:07.314.
There is always more time to be found, but Stefano is not guaranteed to find it.
Kevin Lekmansky has a best lap time of 2:09.679.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Kevin just posted a 3:02.607 crossing start finish. Kevin Lekmansky posted 3:02.607 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
Kevin is not giving up and will be looking for every tenth.
It's a lovely day for racing here at ASRL Interlagos, 75 as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Nils Shepard is on his practice out lap. There are just over 90 minutes left in this practice session. Kevin Lekmansky has a best lap time of 2:05.100.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
It's a very still day here at ASRL Interlagos, 75, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting on the front row gives Sketty the best possible chance at challenging for the lead.
He will have to keep his foot on the gas in order to stay at the sharp end of the grid.
Ryan Wilson will begin the race from the third spot on the starting grid.
Ryan will be expecting to bring home solid points.
As the drivers prepare to take off, Adam sits in fourth place on the starting grid.
Adam will be ready to show what he's made of.
Taking the fifth spot is Nils Shepard.
Another good start for the American driver.
We're seeing Malero in the sixth spot.
Big things expected for Malero today.
Starting from 7th on the grid is a good position for Stefano Amadei to launch an attack.
He's going to have to time his moves just right to move up the grid during the race.
In the middle of the pack, we have Simon of the Desert starting from the 8th position on the grid.
Sometimes the underdog can surprise you. Let's see what he's got in the tank.
Jake Feemster is placed in 9th.
If Jake can find his rhythm early on, he could be a real threat.
Narwhal is 10th. David Zahn has got his work cut out for him starting from 11th on the grid.
The American driver has got something to prove.
Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Kevin Lekmansky to take control of the race.
Lekmansky is sure to be excited at his prospects for this race.
The starting signal has been given, and the drivers face the uncertainty of the first lap. With cars packed tightly together, the potential for spins or collisions is high.
The drivers will need to be aggressive but also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Janet, but the best drivers know how to push the limits and make it work to their advantage.
It's never easy to drive that razor's edge between perfection and disaster.
Simon of the Desert could be on a charge here, Janet. He's just put in a quicker lap than Nils Shepard.
The question now is, can Nils respond to that and pick up the pace? I'm not so sure.
Adam is on a mission, chasing Narwhal, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Oh, this is getting intense. Ryan Wilson is just a few car lengths behind Nils Shepard.
Ryan is looking to close the 0.4-second gap and make a pass.
The battle for P2 is heating up as Adam tries to catch Narwhal in P2.
It's a game of strategy now as Adam hunts down Narwhal. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Ryan Wilson wants to close that gap with Nils Shepard.
It looks like Ryan has the speed to make a move. I just hope he can do it cleanly.
A great pass for Ryan Wilson, swapping places with Nils Shepard to move up the field. As a former driver, Janet, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Marco. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
The tension is building as David Zahn trails behind Kevin Lech-Mansky. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting.
We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Zahn in fifth determined to catch up.
It looks like we might get a battle between David Zahn and Kevin Lech-Mansky.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
You can wish all you want, but I don't think that's how racing works, Janet. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for high fives and fist bumps?
Narwhal is looking for a way to close that gap to Adam.
The gap between them is now just over 1.0 seconds.
Breaking update. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. David Zahn is giving it his all, chasing down Kevin Lech-Mansky in P4. It's game on now. David Zahn has closed the gap to Kevin Lech-Mansky. Hold on a second. That won't be ideal for Nils Shepard.
Nils is not going to be happy about that.
Every move counts now as David Zahn works to reel in Kevin Lech-Mansky and overtake for P4.
No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
David Zahn is in the flow, putting in his best lap so far. Wait, looks like that's a mistake from Adam. This could be costly.
Oops, Adam is going to be wishing that hadn't happened.
David Zahn is trying his best to catch Kevin Lech-Mansky. The gap between David Zahn and Kevin Lech-Mansky is getting smaller. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions, and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
This is where the race gets really interesting. David Zahn is closing in on Kevin Lech-Mansky. A solid performance from Narwhal, who is holding down second. Oh dear, Jake Feemster has had an incident.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 3 kph out there right now.
Well, it doesn't look like David Zahn is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Kevin Lech-Mansky. And we have the safety car out, which means the drivers need to be extra cautious now.
It's a real game changer, with drivers needing to adjust their strategies and try to find ways to gain an advantage.
It's also a bit of a break for the drivers, giving them a chance to catch their breath and regroup before the action kicks off again. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
The safety car is out on track, bringing the pack under control as we deal with some debris on the circuit.
This could be an opportunity for some drivers to pit ahead of the pack.
Of course, the safety car can really shake up the race order. Drivers need to stay alert and be ready to react as soon as we get the green light.
It's a tricky balance. They don't want to waste too much time behind the safety car, but they also don't want to burn out their tires too quickly trying to catch up.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. The safety car is in play.
Let's not forget about the physical challenge of driving behind the safety car. The drivers need to keep their tires and brakes up to temperature to be ready to attack when the safety car comes in.
It's a real test of skill and endurance for these drivers, but that's why they're the best in the business. Let's see how this plays out. You know, Janet, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Marco. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
There's been an incident and we have a safety car, but it's all part of the game, and the drivers and teams will have to find a way to adapt to the situation.
And who knows, this could be a blessing in disguise for some of the drivers who were struggling earlier in the race. They now have a chance to regroup and make a comeback when the safety car finally comes back in.
It's all up in the air, and that's what makes this sport so exciting. You know, Janet, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Marco. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
The safety car is out on the track and the drivers are slowing down to keep their positions.
This is where strategy comes into play. Do you pit now and risk losing track position, or do you stay out and hope for a quick end to the safety car period?
It's a tough call for the teams and drivers to make. We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. Janet, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling? Braking development. And we're back. Safety car off. It's pedal to the metal time. We're watching Kevin Legmansky in third, and is currently being hounded by David Zahn with a gap of just 0.2 seconds. Look at that. They're trading places in every way. A great moment for Stefano Amadei, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Yes, Stefano is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
It's a nail-biting wait. This is not looking good for Malero. He's just lost 7th to Stefano Amadei. At this point, his strategy seems to be failing him. Simon of the Desert has a battle on his hands now, coming through Ferradura with David Zahn hot on his tail. It's an intense battle for position as Malero tries to outmaneuver Adam. This is edge of your seat racing. A brilliant maneuver from Malero, who has just moved up the field.
That's what we like to see. Malero is really showing his class today.
Stefano Amadei wants to find a way round Malero.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
Oh, wait. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
ASRL Interlagos 75 is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Jake Feemster is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. Look at that, Malero is hot on the tail of David Zahn. It's all eyes on this battle as Jake Feemster in 8th tries to hold off the challenge of Adam. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving.
The action is non-stop as Simon of the Desert Shadows hold the phone. Fantastic move from Simon of the Desert, who has just gained a position.
Absolutely, Simon is really putting on a clinic out there, and he's making it look easy.
The race is really— wait, that won't be ideal for David Zahn. The pursuit is on. Kevin Lekmansky is closing the gap on Sketty, determined to claim P2.
Kevin needs to focus to have a chance at getting past Sketty.
Things are heating up. Stop the press. Superb driving from Narwhal, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Hey, Janet, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Marco, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
This is what it's all about, folks. Adam is in hot pursuit of Stefano Amadei, who's just trying to stay ahead.
There's blood in the water for 6th place.
This is a thrilling battle as Ryan Wilson edges closer to Adam in their fight for P7. Looks like Kevin Lekmansky is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer.
It seems like Kevin Lekmansky has got the bid between his teeth. Hold that thought. And Kevin Lekmansky has just won the place from Sketty.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
The gap between Sketty and Kevin Lekmansky is razor thin as they vie for first in this nail-biting contest. Wait, disappointing for Sketty, falling down the order to 3rd. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed. Good news for Jake Feemster, the gap to Sketty has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is what racing is all about, hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
As a former racing driver, Janet, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Marco. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
It seems like Sketty is getting in rain. Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Narwhal. This could be costly. Stefano Amadei is looking to take advantage of that slipstream baiting so close to Jake Feemster. That's gonna provide the extra speed to challenge for the position.
Yeah, Stefano is likely going to be sniffing up the inside of Feimster as they come into ESTACIONAMENTO.
The adrenaline is pumping as Stefano Amadei gets within striking distance of Jake Feimster in their race for third.
With the way Stefano...
Hold up, breaking info. A tough moment for Stefano Amadei, who has just lost a place, now in fifth.
Definitely, but Stefano is a skilled driver, and has what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
The pressure is on as Jake Feimster tries to catch up to Sketty. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. Hold that thought. Big gains for Malero as they move up the field, leaving Stefano Amadei behind. Stefano Amadei has the pedal to the metal chasing Malero.
Rubbing's racing, but let's just hope they don't rub it too hard.
Jake Feimster is on a mission, chasing Sketty, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
Three cars, braking development. Simon of the Desert is pitting. It's a tense battle for position between Adam in third and Sketty in fourth. Adam is keeping Sketty. Wait. Oh dear, Adam has dropped down to fourth. Malero is running ninth and trying to keep up with Narwhal. We got a close battle as Adam closes in on Jake Feimster.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Great driving from Adam, who has just gained a place and moved up to third. David Zahn is running seventh and trying to catch Sketty. A great moment for David Zahn, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. In your experience, Janet, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Marco, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Adam as there is a big gap ahead.
It's not over until the checkered flag drops, and it's important to maintain concentration until you've made it to the finish line.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Sketty is right on the heels of David Zahn, and we're in for a wild ride. What a move. Sketty has moved up to fifth. It's a tight race with David Zahn in fifth, just managing to hold up. Breaking info. Fantastic move from David Zahn, who has just gained a position. Things are heating up as Sketty closes in on David Zahn. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Braking development. Simon of the Desert has pulled into the pits. The pressure is on as Adam works on catching up to Jake Feimster. Jake Feimster is holding second, but Adam is right on his tail.
Surely he's got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Hold that thought. Superb driving from Adam, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Jake Feimster is chasing Adam in P2.
With just 0.5 seconds between them, Jake will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Jake Feimster needs to find some speed, or maybe get more consistent. Janet, he's just put in a slower lap than Adam.
Hopefully Feemster can find some of that missing time and get it back.
This is getting exciting. Jake Feemster is looking for any gap that might open up the position. This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss.
You said it, Marco. The different lines they're taking demonstrate their strategic thinking. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approaches to gain an advantage.
It seems like Simon of the Desert is struggling. His last lap time was a bit off the pace of Malero. Adam is staying focused while chasing Kevin Lekmansky in P1.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Adam is really walking that fine line.
Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there. This is where the true champions shine, and Kevin Lekmansky is certainly showing his class in the final sector.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Kevin,
it's all over. Kevin Lekmansky has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of his game right now. Adam never gave up. He drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish.
Intense race, but Adam held his nerve and earned a great second place.
Excellent focus from Jake Feemster to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
With David Zahn and Sketty in 4th and 5th. Narwhal takes 6th. It's a very still day here at ASRL Interlagos, 75, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Narwhal will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
He can't afford to get complacent. He will have a target on his back now.
Sketty is starting this race on the front row.
He can't count his chickens before they've hatched. There is a long way to go.
On the third grid slot we have David Zahn,
putting that ASRL 99 kart road into prime position for the race.
In fourth place, we have Jake Feemster.
Starting from here, Feemster may already have expectations of a podium finish.
Adam has qualified fifth.
A strong grid position, and he'll be expecting a solid result today.
Coming in at sixth, we have Kevin Lech-Mansky.
Kevin is in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
Malero is going to be starting from seventh. Lining up in eighth is Simon of the Desert. As the engines roar to life, Ryan Wilson prepares to take off from the ninth position on the starting grid.
An opportunity for some good points today, but the others aren't going to make it easy.
Stefano Amadei has qualified 10th.
Expect some battling with Ryan Wilson.
The green flag is out and we're racing. Time for the drivers to put their foot down.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at ASRL for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
I'd love to be on track burning some rubber here, Marco.
As the tires come up to temp, their available grip is changing, and the drivers that manage this transition best are likely to make progress through the field.
Let's hope everyone is able to stay focused for the challenge ahead.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here.
With this motley bunch of drivers, there is bound to be drama. I just hope we don't miss it.
Adam will be studying the nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage. The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
Every corner, every lap, and every race is a chance for these drivers to hone their abilities and improve their skills.
Adam is giving it his all, chasing down Sketty in P2.
The gap is 0.5 seconds now. Adam is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Sketty.
Malero is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift.
I would not be surprised to see him get this pass completed soon.
Oh, this is getting intense. Adam is just behind Sketty. Breaking news, folks. An impressive showing from Adam, who has gained positions and left Sketty in the dust.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Adam needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
Sketty could be looking. Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around the SRL Interlagos, 75.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race he'd been looking at a decent result.
Ryan Wilson seems to be putting the pressure on Malero.
If you don't push the boundaries you will never know where they are.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Malero is defending for his life, but Ryan Wilson is right there doing everything he can to force a mistake.
It's not over yet. Wilson is right on Malero's tail, and if he can find just a little bit of extra speed, he might be able to make a move.
Hold that thought. A brilliant maneuver from Malero, who has just moved up the field. I think Malero is going to try and outbrake ASRL 99. Braking update. Hard brake for Stefano Amadei, as they slip down the field. Look at that. Ryan Wilson is hot on the tail of Stefano Amadei. Hold the phone. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Oops, Narwhal is going to be wishing that hadn't happened.
The race is really heating up. Ryan Wilson is hunting down Stefano Amadei with everything he's got. Let's talk about tire degradation. Stop the press. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Ryan Wilson gaining places and Stefano Amadei losing them. Oh, this is getting intense. Jake Feemster is just a few car lengths behind Sketty.
The racing is getting tight between Feemster and Sketty as they battle for P2. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
It looks like Ryan Wilson is all over Stefano Amadei going through RETAO, increasing the pressure and hoping. Stop the press. Oh dear, Jake Feemster has had an incident.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 1 kph out there right now.
Every move counts now as Stefano Amadei works to reel in Simon of the Desert and overtake for P6. Hold that thought. Tough break for Stefano Amadei, who has just lost a position.
That's got to be frustrating. But Stefano is a skilled driver, and he's got what it takes to battle back up the field.
Looks like that's a mistake from Malero. This could be costly. 3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but that's not always enough.
Absolutely, Marco. The intensity of this battle is unmatched. These drivers are leaving no room for error and showcasing their exceptional racing skills.
Stefano Amadei is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Malero to 0.4 seconds. Kevin Lekmansky will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. Stefano is really pushing the limits. He's riding the curves and hustling that ASRL 99 kart road like a boss.
A great moment for Stefano Amadei, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Impressive. Stefano is really showing his skill and determination out there.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would hope to. Breaking update. Great driving from Malero, who has just gained a place and moved up to 7th. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Stefano Amadei is breathing down the neck of Malero, not giving him any room to relax. Things are heating up as Kevin Lekmansky tries to close the gap to Sketty. It looks like we might get a battle between Kevin Lekmansky and Sketty. Things don't seem to be going Stefano Amadei's way in this race, as that's a big gap he'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. The gap between Stefano Amadei and Malero is widening. It's now up to 2.3 seconds.
This is a frustrating situation for Stefano, but he can't give up just yet. He'll need to keep pushing and hope for a mistake from Malero.
Looks like Kevin Lekmansky is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer.
It's looking good for Kevin Lekmansky, who has gained a place after passing Sketty. Sketty wants to get into Kevin Lekmansky's slipstream.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
It's not going to plan for Sketty. Hold the phone. It looks like Malero has been called into the pits. The pressure is on as Sketty tries to catch up to Kevin Lekmansky. The breaking update. What a move. Stefano Amadei has moved up to 6th. This is a thrilling battle as Sketty edges closer to Kevin Lek. Wait, I don't think that's the fastest way around ASRL Interlagos, 75. The battle for P2 is heating up as Sketty tries to catch Kevin Lekmansky in P2. It's certainly not going to plan for Sketty right now, who is struggling to keep up with Kevin Lekmansky. The gap. Wait, we are under the safety car. It's all about finding that sweet spot and keeping your wits about you.
And while it's not ideal for the fans, there's something undeniably thrilling about seeing the safety car out on track. It adds an element of unpredictability and keeps everyone on the edge of their seats.
Let's hope we can get this debris cleared quickly and get back to the racing action. What do you think, Janet? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Marco. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
Safety car is still leading the field after several laps.
This is really putting the drivers to the test, having to stay focused and ready to pounce at a moment's notice.
It can be tough to keep your adrenaline pumping when you're driving at slower speeds, but they can't afford to lose their concentration.
It's also a challenge for the teams. They have to keep their drivers calm and focused despite the frustration of being stuck behind the safety car.
We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on if we ever get bored of regular racing. Bumper cars might be the next big thing.
And we have the safety car out, which means the drivers need to be extra cautious now.
It's a real game changer, with drivers needing to adjust their strategies and try to find ways to gain an advantage.
It's also a bit of a break for the drivers, giving them a chance to catch their breath and regroup before the action kicks off again. You know, Janet, I've always wondered, how do racing drivers stay so cool and collected under such immense pressure?
Well, Marco, it comes down to mental strength and training. Drivers often work with sports psychologists and practice techniques like meditation and visualization to help them stay calm and focused during high-pressure situations.
The safety car is in play.
Let's not forget about the physical challenge of driving behind the safety car. The drivers need to keep their tires and brakes up to temperature to be ready to attack when the safety car comes in.
It's a real test of skill and endurance for these drivers, but that's why they're the best in the business. Let's see how this plays out. Huge shout out to the admins at ASRL for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Marco, and the excitement is electric. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
There's been an incident and we have a safety car, but it's all part of the game, and the drivers and teams will have to find a way to adapt to the situation.
And who knows, this could be a blessing in disguise for some of the drivers who were struggling earlier in the race. They now have a chance to regroup and make a comeback when the safety car finally comes back in.
It's all up in the air, and that's what makes this sport so exciting. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride, and I for one look forward to future advancements in AI technology.
Apparently we are going to be announcing crashes and incidents soon. Let's hope they get the logic right. The safety car is out on the track and the driver hold the phone. The safety car is pulling into the pits, and we are moments away from going back to green flag racing. Hold on to your seats. This is where the race gets really interesting. Braking development. A great pass for Narwhal, swapping places with David Zahn to move up the field.
Absolutely. Narwhal is showing great pace and determination, but he can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Wow, Sketty is really pushing hard to catch up to Simon of the Desert.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect. Let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned off-track excursions.
Narwhal is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift.
The mental game is just as important here. Narwhal must keep his cool while putting pressure on Stefano.
Adam is placed second at the moment, and hoping to keep his distance ahead of Ryan Wilson, who is 0.4 seconds behind. Ryan Wilson is running third, and trying to catch Adam. Looks like Narwhal is coming in hot. He's approaching. Stop the press. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Adam is not going to be happy about that.
The race is really heating up. Ryan Wilson is hunting down Kevin Lekmansky with everything he's got.
The gap between them is just over 0.5 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed.
You can see that car bouncing around as it rides the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
This is where this breaking news, folks. A setback for Ryan Wilson, who has just been passed. Fantastic move from Ryan Wilson, who has just gained a position. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
If things go wrong between Narwhal and Stefano, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Breaking update. Big gains for Narwhal as they move up the field, leaving Stefano Amadei behind. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving.
Stop the press. Adam is in the pits. Stefano Amadei is on a mission, chasing Kevin Lekmansky, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Stefano Amadei is trying his best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Kevin Lekmansky at the moment.
He needs to pick up the pace for sure, but that's not always a real possibility.
Hold that thought. Adam has decided to pit. Things are going according to plan for Kevin Lekmansky, who is currently third.
Definitely, but he can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers gunning for that position, and Lekmansky has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Look at that. Stefano Amadei is hot on the tail of Kevin Lekmansky. Superb driving from Stefano Amadei, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. If everything goes as planned, this is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
Oh, this is getting intense. David Zahn needs to keep Narwhal in his sights. It looks like David Zahn is making a move. The gap to Narwhal is now down to 0.5 seconds.
Exactly what Dave needed. He can't afford to lose any more ground to Narwhal.
Well, it doesn't look like Stefano Amadei is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Kevin Lekmansky. Things are heating up as David Zahn tries to close the gap. Hold on a moment. An impressive showing from David Zahn, who has gained positions and left Narwhal in the dust.
Yes, but Zahn needs to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Zahn needs to stay focused and drive with skill and determination.
The pressure is on as Narwhal tries to catch up to David Zahn. Narwhal appears to be losing ground on David Zahn. He'll need to pick up the pace a bit heading into Laranja to get a good exit and gain some ground. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics. But we all know that's impossible, or is it? I mean, we're a couple of computerized robots commenting on a race. Anything can happen.
Bad jokes notwithstanding, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier, or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Malero as there is a big gap ahead.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Malero is going to have to get more serious with practice to not get outclassed on the circuit.
The pursuit is on. Narwhal is closing the gap on David Zahn, determined to claim P5. A great moment for Narwhal, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Looks like David Zahn is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. David needs—
Hold the phone. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with David Zahn gaining places and Narwhal losing them.
Yes, but Dave can't rest on his laurels, but needs to keep pushing to consolidate his position.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Narwhal trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on David Zahn. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. It's game on now. Narwhal has closed the gap to David Zahn. It's now down to 1.0 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
It's all about consistency for David Zahn, who is currently fifth. He's pulling away. David Zahn is increasing the gap to Narwhal.
That's exactly what David needed to do.
Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the drivers at the back of the pack are putting up a good fight, battling it out for every position.
It's a testament to the level of competition at ASR.
Braking development. That won't be ideal for Sketty.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race he'd been looking at a decent result.
Things don't seem to be going Malero's way in this race, as that's a big gap he'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Malero certainly isn't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Stefano.
Good news for Malero. The gap to Stefano Amadei has decreased. It's now down to 0.7 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
Three cars, three different racing strategies. One driver is defending, while the other two are relentlessly attacking. This is either going to be great or a disaster.
You hit the nail on the head, Marco. The elite drivers truly stand out in moments like these. They have a sixth sense for identifying weaknesses and capitalizing on them with surgical precision.
Oh, this is getting intense. Malero is just a few car lengths behind Stefano Amadei. The gap between Malero and Stefano Amadei is growing. It's now up to 0.4 seconds. In your experience, Janet, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Marco, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
This is a thrilling battle as Malero edges closer to Stefano Amadei in their fight for P3. The gap between Malero and David Zahn is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Malero to even allow David to get a look in. Stefano Amadei is looking for an opportunity to get around Malero.
There is no room for error in this battle.
It's not looking good for Stefano Amadei, who is still behind Malero and the gap is increasing.
It's
Braking update. Great driving from Stefano Amadei, who has just gained a place and moved up to third.
amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Malero is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. Malero is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Stefano Amadei to 0.4 seconds.
That's a great effort from Malero. He'll need to keep up the pressure and see if he can make a move.
You know, Janet, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Marco. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Ryan Wilson, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
What a result for Wilson. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. He really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Kevin Lekmansky takes second place with a fantastic race.
Impressive result. He can be proud of that performance, which landed him on the second podium spot.
That was an outstanding performance from Stefano Amadei. He fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Malero and David Zahn brings home fourth and fifth. Sixth sees Adam. Adam has pulled into the pits.